This week on the Push All Loads podcast, we answer a whole host of questions from you, the listeners. Three, two, and one. It's question time.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, man?
I apologise for my nasally sounding voice, I'm still a bit ill. Not been well over the last few days, and I hate not being well. I hate it, but...
Worse, isn't it? The worst.
As I've got older, I realised you just have to stop and just let yourself get better. Like, when I was a lot younger, I used to think I was hard because I could push through it, and now I'm just like, there's no benefit in that. Just stop. Just do nothing. Rest.
You are old as well. You are old.
I'm getting old, obviously. Well, that's the biggest issue in life, is that I'm getting old. But, yeah... Still not 100% really at the moment, but oh well, we live and learn. You know, still the podcast goes on. So, and I'll be honest, Tom say to me, if you don't turn up, then I'll just replace you with Josh forever.
I know.
Permanently. So
that was the bill.
I suppose I better turn up.
He's sitting at his laptop right now, just kind of like
he's waiting.
Tom. Getting there. Is he calling you now? Is he? Sweet. Yeah, mate. So. What's been going on in your world apart from being ill?
Nothing crazy, really, to be honest. Other than everyone else being ill, so Laura and Isabella also ill. But no, we had Amelia Thompson on YouTube the other week.
Dr. Amelia Thompson.
She's
going to go mental if you didn't call her that, right?
No. She's definitely not common sense, though, as we established, or general knowledge.
She doesn't have common sense or general
on the YouTube video. So no, that was really good. That went down very, very well.
Honestly, as much as I like Amelia, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No, it's fine though, because what I also found out as well is that her sister is an avid listener, and I don't want Amelia to steal the spotlight here because, to be honest, like you said, she doesn't really deserve it.
No,
I think we should put it back on our listeners. So yeah, Amelia's sister listens. So hello. And yeah, no, so that was really, really good to see her and spend a bit of time with her and chill out. And we talked about intuitive eating and mindful eating, which is a topic that I think has obviously gained a lot of traction over the last year or so. And it's very interesting speaking to her because she has an evidence-based background in it and obviously talks about the evidence behind it and all this sort of stuff, which there is. And there are, and the way she approaches it is very much there are still rules, certain rules to it for people, for herself. Whereas a true intuitive eating approach would have zero rules at all. She's like, that's just dumb. You still have to have some element of making decisions based around protein.
I wouldn't really understand that because how can intuitive eating have no rules?
Well, like the thing is, like with intuitive eaters, is that
then intuitive eaters, sure, if you didn't have any rules that you tried to stick by or you allow guidelines.
No, nothing. They literally say that it's just like nothing. You just go on what you feel like you want. And it's like, well, I always want cheesecake, so...
Well, yeah, that's impossible.
Well, no, this is the argument, right? Is that
you can't ever have that. You always have a biased view.
Well, everyone's doing intuitive eating right now. Look at
them. No, there's literally, according to whatever you just said, that is literally impossible. You're just like, what? It can't be done if you're not allowed to follow any guidelines, any bias. Then
no, the only guideline is you have what you want to eat. You eat what you want.
Well, I do that all the time.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. Everyone's in a mess because of it. Like, but like she would argue that true intuitive eaters would say that they're anti-diet or anti-rules.
Anti-diet, but what they're eating is a diet.
Well, yeah, but they don't know that, do they? They're not smart enough to know what the word diet means.
No.
It was good to chat with her, and we've had a good feedback from it. But yeah, we thought we'd throw the floor open to all the people on Instagram, didn't we, today?
We thought 2 hours before the show. But I was like, I'm walking across like...
Well, I saw you post it, and I was like, oh, well, I better post it then. And then I come on the show, and you're like, oh, I had loads of topics to cover. I just thought I'd put that on there.
Yeah, I had quite a few things to like save that I really wanted to talk about, like actually big topics. And then I was walking across like Waterloo Bridge, and I was just like, oh, this is a nice picture of the wheel. And fire some questions.
And you intuitively just said, ask me any questions.
I was just like, oh yeah, we're recording tonight. I was like, and then I remembered, I'd saved about 3 or 4 things that I wanted to talk about, but they can be other shows. We can even bring on other guests to talk about that kind of stuff. So, whereas these unfortunate people who have asked us questions actually want our opinion about it. So we might as well do that, eh? We've got a couple of topics at the end if we have time. If we break the, 35, 40-minute mark and we're still going on these questions, which is far more likely, we'll probably go off on at least 10 tangents. So, yeah. So, I mean, we're 5 minutes in. We haven't talked about anything yet. So,
it's about half of the course.
it's normally about 7 or 8, and we're probably on some sort of cereal drinks topic. If anybody's keeping score, I'm sure they are. I'm having a Sprite right now. I believe it's 0. Yeah, it's 0.
I hope it is, mate.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 calories. So.
Well, I had my Coke Zero Vanilla before we
Well, it
came on.
doesn't say 0 on the can, so I'm a bit concerned.
Well,
it's definitely the silver can. It says 3 calories. But I also do have a Fanta Zero with me as well, because me and Dan were talking some big shop and ideas before the show, and I knew it was going to be a lengthy conversation. Dan didn't prep with 2 drinks, so he had to go.
Well, so
and
I had Coke Zero with vanilla, and now I've just got Trusty Robinson Summer Fruits in a glass.
Yes. Such a dad move. That's basically that is a proper dad drink. Good man, well done. Right. We've got some topics. Are you going to go first? Are we going to go 1, 1, 1, 1?
Do you want to go 1, 1, 1, 1?
Yeah. Let's do that. You can go first, Dan.
I'll go first
because I'm such a gentleman.
Right. What's more important, helping clients enjoy exercise or getting them results? I've got an answer for this.
What's more important, getting them results or helping them enjoy exercise?
Yeah.
If I'm taking that as a blanket statement, obviously it depends. But if it's a blanket statement, the person is probably paying me. Their goal is probably going to be. Well, it's not going to be enjoyment, is it? I don't think they're going to come to me about enjoyment. It's going to be getting results.
I think if you
no
get
matter
results,
no matter what the results are, obviously they're coming for me. If the result is that they want to get enjoyment out of training, but no, it's going to be results. I
just think some people will never enjoy training. They do it for the results. That's why they do it. And I think the majority of people,
100%,
once they see results, they then do enjoy it more. And actually, the results people assume results is fat loss or muscle gain, but actually results can be movement acquisition. So actually, just feeling more comfortable in the gym is a result, and actually that therefore means that they'll keep coming back.
Yeah, it depends on the goal, right? So whatever their starting out goal was. So
I just think as a trainer as well, I think that as a trainer, every trainer I would suggest could probably help their client enjoy exercise, but not every trainer can get results. That I'm going to throw it out there and say that.
In theory, they should, but
because all you've got to do is say to your client, "What do you enjoy doing?" "Oh, I enjoy just walking on the treadmill." "Go walk on the treadmill then." Right. But they're not going to get results from that. And I think, from my point of view, and I think from a point of view of people, it's like people go to a trainer because they can't do something themselves. A lot of people go to group exercise classes because they enjoy them. They go on long walks or long runs with their friends because they enjoy them more so than going to the gym. But they don't get results. People pay generally to get results. Obviously, if they can enjoy it as much as possible along the way, great. But there'll be elements to it that they just won't enjoy. I used to have clients all the time that hated doing certain exercises. I was like, look, you kind of have to be able to do this movement. Like, it's pretty fundamental. Once you can do it, we can move on or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then through time, they end up enjoying it. That's my way. Again, because we hate the whole, like, it depends answer all the time.
Yeah, I know.
We like to actually give some sort of answer. My answer would be getting them results.
It's always your coach is clearly a moron if he doesn't always answer, it depends. I was like, well, yeah, and he probably doesn't have the ability to think for himself. So, yeah.
Exactly.
He hasn't siphoned enough information to form his own opinion. Probably. But, yeah. Sometimes it depends.
You'd be afraid of pissing people off.
I know, right?
People are so frightened, aren't they?
We're very concerned about doing. Incredibly about pissing people off. I piss Dan off like 24/7, so it's absolutely fine. Right, so
I just think it's how you learn and grow as well. Like, you listen to people's opinions and you take them on board, or you don't, and like I fucking hate the whole. I don't want to offend anyone.
I feel like we should do 5 minutes of question on here as well. I'm going to set a timer.
Quick fire, come on. You just
Quick
wasted
fire.
2 minutes doing that.
All right, started. So we've got a slightly awkward one, but we're not going to mention this person. Did you give a shout out to that, whoever that person was?
No.
Oh, well done, good man. Do you want to? No?
No.
All right. Definitely one of Dad's clients.
Definitely, yeah.
Basically, if you don't want to shout out, be Dan's client. Yeah, you know who you are. Whoever asked that question. So we got this person is. Oh, I don't know. So. An awkward person apparently, and don't know how to approach the subject, but they would like to know, this Instagram follower, how to have a conversation with a nutritionist who I don't want to work with anymore. Sorry, Dan, you're gone, mate. This is how to break it.
One of my clients. So we can talk about it.
How to break information through me to Dan, and I will only say. So I'll repeat the question: how to have the conversation with a nutritionist or coach, I essentially say, who I don't want to work with anymore. How to break up with your coach.
Oh wow! I think.
So Dan's got a lot of experience in this because he's had to let a lot of clients.
Yeah, I get this a lot. Actually, this is weird. I have to do this every day. In fact,
yeah, it's crazy.
I get these all the time. I think like over time as well. I've had it from people like again, just to sound good here, like almost like the opposite in the fact that I've had people say to me like, "Oh, Dan's
had to leave them." Jesus Christ.
No, yeah. No, like this. They've said to me like, oh, "This is really hard for me because I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy it, whatever. But I need to stop or whatever." And there's always that element of like fear, or I don't know. You don't like saying it, but then I think you have to remember that a nutrition coach or a coach, whatever, is a professional. Like it's part and parcel of their job to have those conversations, and they can't get arsy or upset. Like hopefully they'll ask you.
God.
That wasn't 5 minutes.
No, that definitely wasn't 5 minutes.
Like hopefully they'll ask you like, is there anything they've done that's wrong, or if there's anything that they could have improved upon, you know, all that sort of stuff. Unless you obviously say, oh no, I've had a great time, everything's been amazing, I just need to go a different way or whatever. That's obviously they're not going to assume anything's wrong. It's up to you, I suppose, whether you want to tell them and give them that constructive feedback based on that. And I think if that is the case, that's always useful. Like I think I had one once about when was it? About a year ago, 9 months, year ago. And I swear to God, I was like the whole time I was like, what have I done wrong here? I was like, this is really weird. But basically, over the course of 8 weeks, the guy had arranged 2 phone calls with me, and he hadn't done a full assessment week. So basically, hadn't gone through a full week's worth of calories and weight and expenditure and all this sort of stuff. And he cancelled, and he was like, "Oh, I just don't really get what I'm paying for here." Blah blah blah, all this sort of stuff. Never filled in a complete week of tracking that, so I didn't really know what he'd done for a whole week. And he'd also never sent a progress picture in 8 weeks. I was like, I didn't even know what you look like, mate. I was like, and when you kind of sometimes you step back and you go, what, the coach will go, what have I done wrong here? How could I approach these things better? Blah, blah, blah. And from that, I was like, this is on him. Like, the guy's not done anything. Like, he's not sent me a progress picture once. He's not completed a full week of any of the 8 weeks that we've been over. I was like, I could have prodded him a bit more, maybe potentially, but whatever, And anyway, since then, it's not happened again. So I was like, well, is it really kind of a huge issue? So I think your coach or the coach will always want to know what they could have done to improve. So I think it's important to kind of do that if you feel that is the case. But you remember as well that not everyone, you're not going to get on with everyone. Not everyone's going to want the same things, and like it's not normal to get on with everyone. So they shouldn't take it kind of personally. So don't be afraid of doing it. But obviously you've said you're quite an awkward person or whatever.
Yeah.
And you feel a bit awkward doing it, but it's just a well-worded email, and it should be the end of it. Really.
I think that's the case. I don't think, especially with an online coach or even with like a one-to-one, like the chances are you don't actually have to see them again. If that's what is the awkwardness of it, it is just a nice email thanking them for the work that they have put in, I guess, and then offering. If you don't want to put the constructive criticism or the reason, or just a very brief reason why you don't think it's going forward, then you don't have to. But if they ask, then just be constructive about it. Don't be like an arse and be like, oh no, because it was awful. Just be like, oh well, it wasn't as attentive as I need to have, and I feel like maybe another coach may do that. I don't think this was in our personalities match that well. Do the personality thing. It's like breaking up with a girlfriend, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, it's not you, it's definitely me, that kind of thing. Just do that. Saying that from a person who's been in a relationship for about 9 years. Not have that conversation very often.
Yeah.
It's like both me and Dan are long-term in, so yeah, unfortunately. Ooh, that's good.
I remember I had it in the gym.
That was the timer, Dan. We have to.
I know, but I'm just going to carry on. I remember I had it in the gym once where I did a class and some woman complained because she had such bad DOMs for 3 days afterwards, and I was well, the class was pretty basic. You're just ridiculously unfit.
You're even more basic. So.
It's not my fault. It's you're just a mess. But again, I had to carry on. I had to see her again in the gym, but I didn't think to myself, oh god, it's awkward. I was just like, yeah, whatever. If anything, it's more awkward for her, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%.
But I just think it's one of those things where you're not going to see him again. You don't have to worry about it. So just do that, and
just do that.
If you need help, if you need help in the future,
if you need help doing it, you can just message the person. Message the person to listen to our show, and then next week, and we'll just name it on here. So absolutely fine. Be a bit weird, but I mean, it's like a public service announcement. FYI, you're not training this person anymore. Have fun. Or just cancel your I don't know, your bank statement, or cancel your payments.
No, don't do that, because that's a coach.
See you later. No.
Just send them an email and say it. And just
so, I mean, we both had coaches before, and we don't have coaches now. So we've obviously had that conversation before in a personal preference, personal side of things. So obviously I was trained by John Clark previously, and the way we broke up was I said I wanted to focus on my training more, and he helped me a lot. I basically said, you'd help me a lot with all of my online coaching. I wanted to, and also I got injured, so I needed to rehab, and I love John Clark, but his forte is not rehab, and that is mine. So I was like, I need to rehab my own stuff. And I just said I wanted to do my own coaching, and I was looking into some university stuff at that time, and I was like, I'm going to help out with some PhD studies, so I'm going to go do that. See you later. And he was like, cool.
Yeah, a coach's response is always going to be that. It's like, there's not much I can do.
There's not much. He's not going to try and talk me around. But that was the fact that he was a person that's got a thriving other business, that it was a side project for him, essentially, his online coaching. So, which is incredible coach. Just my time had run. I was with him for a year and a half, 2 years, so pretty good run. Dan, did you? You must have broken up with somebody.
Oh, probably, mate. Yeah. Probably. No girls. I mean,
mate, we're not gonna mention whoever.
They always broke up with me.
I don't even know who your coaches were.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anymore, does it? They've got you where you are today, mate.
Apparently. Anyway,
it's you now, isn't it? Yeah. Next question.
Advice on balancing adequate rest with training being a pillar of a happy, productive day.
Repeat that again.
Advice on balancing adequate rest with training being a pillar of a productive, happy day. So basically, obviously, this guy really enjoys training. It makes it's a really part of a really good day for him. But he obviously wants to balance having adequate rest with training. Straight away, you don't have to train with intensity every single day. So there's one. You just don't train balls to the wall. Potentially, have a day where you just do some mobility work and some ab work or something. That can be a pretty low key day, low intensity day. You could do a Metcon day. You could do more just sort of movements, getting a bit sweaty, and using it as an active recovery thing rather than a full on
executive
session.
Workout. You can go in the sauna.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
Swimming like Tom used to do. But I don't think you need to. I don't see training as lifting heavy all the time, and then you're not. You're still going to rest and recover from it. We used to get a lot of footballers come in and they used to just do 20 minutes on the bike and some stretching and some swimming. The day after a game, it's just going to promote rest and recovery, if anything. So, have a think about changing your training up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've said that to a couple of trainers, third space, and it's. I said in a seminar, I was like, don't be afraid of rest. I was like, rest is your friend, 100%. You're going to come back stronger from it, no doubt. There's actually, if you like 2 weeks out of not training is absolutely fine. Obviously, if you need to train, do what Dan said and just go low intensity, just go through the motions, do practicing skills, that kind of thing. So it becomes, all your movements become more like autonomic. So yeah, they'll just become ingrained in you. Therefore, you're gonna get better skill acquisition, which is not always going to be a good thing. Just because you can bench 100 kilos for 5 doesn't mean you have to bench it every single day, right? Or even to the intensities that you're meant to be. Just go in there and bench 40 kilos really, 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 really well. That's what Dan does most of the time. So, it's not much else to say on that one. To be fair,
No.
I just chill out. It's fine. I've got no trouble with rest.
No.
Too much,
Me neither.
if anybody would say that. Like the session I did on Saturday lasted about 2.5 hours, I think. Mainly because it was like texting in between. But yeah, and I was doing ollie lifting, so I was allowed to chill out for a little bit. And it was like, oh yeah.
Oh, it's time to do a rep now.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. That's the wonderful thing about strength training. It wasn't even strength training. It was fairly comfortable, but it was just stuff I hadn't done for a while, so I kind of wanted to focus. And then it's like, oh yeah, okay, better do this. Just taking up one of the racks and one of the deadlift platforms or ollie lift platforms. It's fine. There's plenty in there. We're good. All right, next question. We were under 5 minutes there. We didn't get a little thing. Should we play one?
No.
You like the little chimes. Where are we going? Alright. I wouldn't mind a chat about what point volume is considered to be junk volume. At what point is volume considered to be junk volume? I feel like this is more your bag than mine.
So junk volume for those.
Because I don't particularly know that term very well. I feel like there's an online bodybuilder term.
It's kind of like volume that you do just for the sake of doing it. So, like for example, if you did leg extensions, you did 3 sets of 10, and then you do like you finish with 3 sets of 20, and then a drop set, and then a drop set. Like that's like junk volume. Like the main work is the 310s, and junk volume just like the extra bit. And I think in a properly designed program, I don't think it exists. Junk volume, by definition, you're basically, it's a waste of time. It's either adding something to your session or it's not. So like it's why, for example, when I do drop sets, people always say to me, "Oh, you're only putting 1 drop set." I'm like, yeah, only what? Why do you need to do more than 1 or like do 10? Like just do 1 because you'll do it well. There'll be enough weight on it for it to actually elicit a response. There's no point sitting there on level 1 of the leg extension just swinging it around. Like that's junk volume, right? It kind of it's like the analogy that Mike's used on YouTube before. It's like this pen might weigh 10 grams. He's like, if I did 10,000 curls with it, it's not the same as doing 1,000 curls with 10 kilos or whatever the maths works out at, basically. It's like there's a certain amount you need to elicit a response.
Yeah.
And that's the equivalent, I suppose, thing. It's like, at what point do you not bother doing it? And I think I've always been, I think, from obviously me and Tom training together a lot, and even now it shines through when I train with Mike, I'm always an advocate of the slightly lower rep ranges than the higher ones, because I do think there's an element to it where people just do too much of that sort of stuff. I mean, maybe it shows in my physique that maybe that's the wrong way of doing it.
But we know from science that the fact is that unless it's something like 92% of your like 1RM elicits almost a complete activation from all sarcomeres within the muscle, and it's untapped stuff that doesn't affect, like, actually apply within, like, I don't know, was it like 70 to 75% of 1RM that doesn't even get active, even if you're going to what is an AMRAP set.
And I think
that's the point of what I would always drive home about, like, people saying power building training is like powerlifting with bodybuilding stuff is always going to trump just somebody who's doing flat out like drop sets and junk volume.
And also with the junk volume thing, I think also it's always done at intensity that's so low that, to be honest, it's not going to contribute to your fatigue or your volume parameters anyway, like your volume load. Like, it's not really, it might hurt and it might burn a bit, but it's probably not affecting things hugely.
No.
I just don't like it. I don't like it as a term. I don't like when people do it. I just think it's a waste of time. I'd rather you save the energy and just give it one more proper set. Why not do that? I just don't like it.
Well, I think one of the biggest studies I think will probably decide this, and was the I don't know, it was a meta-analysis or a load of other research, which was certainly done, certainly popularised, was the GVT disproving and how German volley training was essentially pointless, and you got the same amount of hypertrophic and strength adaptation through 5 sets of 10 and 10 sets of 10. So you just doubled the amount, half the amount of time and got the same response. So
yeah, exactly.
it's just about efficiency, right?
And even that's with a decent amount of load on.
Yeah.
And even that shows it, you know. So I just think we know enough now about training, and we know that actually the amount of volume you need is really not as anywhere near as high as some of the previous bodybuilders used to think. It was always a case of just do more, get better results, and of course they didn't know why they were getting better results, other than they were hitting the minimum threshold and they were taking shitloads of steroids. Like, it's not hard to work out, but also they can obviously take more volume because of that factor. So a lot of bodybuilders will do a lot more volume because they can recover from it. So that's the other aspect you have to remember. I just don't bother doing it. I just don't think it's worth it. Like, again, loads of things like drop sets, that sort of stuff. I'd rather you just did a decent back off set. I think you get far more from it.
Getting sweet pump, bro. That's what you kids say, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't do it very often. Don't have time. Generally speaking, it tends to take more time. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. And it's very rare that I'll be doing. I did some bicep curls last week, which is pretty cool. It was nice using some 16s, Dan.
Wow, look at you, mate. I'm on the 14s, mate, so I'm catching you.
I know, you're almost there. It's my levers. My levers are so long.
Yeah.
I got that nice moment arm to come. Goes over wider range, but yeah, just a lot of leverage.
A lot of leverage, mate.
But,
right, next question.
Mate, we got 3 seconds and the thing's going to go out.
We don't have to do it every time to the buzzer. It's such a shit alarm, that, as well, by the way. Get a new alarm.
That's not the one I normally have. I'm just
Sure it's not. I said that well.
Which ones do you normally have? I mean, obviously we both have iPhone 10s, right?
Like
sure. That's horrible. Obviously, we normally have the normal one, right?
Mate, they don't want to listen to
that one. Yeah.
They don't want to listen to them. Come on.
That's the one that's obviously everybody's default, and that's the one that wakes me up in the morning. It's awful. Is it me or you?
It's me.
Is it? No.
Optimal protein intake for a person who does a lot of exercise, weights, and football. Well, like
all of the protein.
2 grams a kilo of body weight is going to be fine. Like, there's no reason for you to go much beyond that. But with doing a lot of exercise, the thing that will contribute more to your recovery is going to be calories and carbs mainly. So you would probably actually
all the fats, right? So lots of fats.
Fats are obviously, like, to a point, are useful, but majority of it's going to be carbs, Tom.
Chris Froome has all the fats. You know that. He's eating avocados, eggs, anything.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it, that lad.
So you're going to be looking at cycling your carb intake and your calorie intake over the days based around your...
What does that mean, Dan? Cycling your calorie intake?
Basically have high days and low days of calories.
There we go. Thank you.
Because you are going to want to promote recovery and also glycogen storage at certain times of the week based on when you have your hard weight sessions or when you have your football sessions, etc., etc. You may also need to start looking potentially at meal timings a little bit more than the average person would if you've got multiple sessions in a day, things like that. But protein intake wouldn't differ hugely. I would still go sort of 2 grams per kilo body weight. The reason as well you wouldn't want to go too high on your protein intake is because your overall calorie intake will obviously be pretty similar, but you're better off having more carbs than more protein to enhance your recovery, but also to enable you to play football and perform better. So there's a bit of a misconception that more protein is always better, but actually your protein intake goes up. It will take away from your carbohydrate intake, which will impact your performance potentially.
And probably the most important one is carbs are way more yummy.
Yeah, you do say yummy.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking, I was kind of think Isabel would say.
I know she would. That's exactly why I said it.
Yeah, so I wouldn't actually, again, like, I wouldn't actually worry too much about trying to get more protein into aid recovery. I would think about more carbs and think about where your calories go over the week.
What kind of carbs, man? Complicated ones or the simple ones?
Just
Haribos, just lots of
Yeah.
Haribos. We know that Chris Froome just eats Haribos all the way around.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, that's what you're looking at. Obviously, don't get your carbs from just Haribo. That was a joke. Utilize a variety of carbohydrate sources.
Yes.
That's the technical line.
That's the line you have to give out because like you're.
Yeah.
Like,
But basically, cereal and
nutritionist.
Haribo. Basically.
Big inverted commas on nutritionist there, guys, because anybody can use that title, and Dan chooses to use it. So
You could use it, Tom.
I'm a nutritionist, 100%.
But you could use one.
I will always say that I did a module in my bachelor's degree in sports nutrition, and I passed it, Dan. So therefore, and that was in the third year, so that's a hard one.
Mate, I did a module on sports psychology.
Yeah, so did I.
Brilliant.
God
Doesn't make me
knows.
as psychologist.
Basically, when I showed Vicky, obviously Vicky's a master's degree in health psychology, showed Vicky the stuff that we were going through. She was like, "Yeah, so this is psychology about 20 years ago." I was like, "All right, good. I'm glad."
It probably
we're
will
doing
be.
it." She was just like,
all the nutrition,
she was just like sports psychology is basically psychology we did on normal people 20 years ago. I was like, "Oh, good. All right, so it's not very good anymore." She's like, "No, it's not really very up to date sports psychology. They probably want to get into like hospitals and stuff to actually get the real research going on." It's like, "All right, good to know." There you go. There's something you could do. All footballers need to. Well, they probably do need to. I think they should have some sort of psychologist or counsellor within football clubs.
I think a lot of fucking clubs would do well to get one.
They
in.
would do very well to do that. Yeah, mate. I've forgotten what absolute tangent. Forgotten what you said. I'm gonna go next question, mate. That's all right.
It is your go.
This is weird. So, tips on managing a person's expectations. Wants the end result, but not the hard work. Generally, the kind of thing.
Fucking hell.
That's what we all
Got a few of
want.
them. Got a few of them.
You know who you are. Yeah. Wants the end result, but that's just being human, isn't it?
Yeah, that is being human, but I think there's all. I know people who are like that though. Like I've got a couple of clients like that at the moment who they're going through the process of dieting for their shoot in June, right? And they kind of think, "Oh, I'm not going to be ready. I don't look like that now." And I'm like, "You do realize it's 13 weeks away." "Oh, but but I'm not really sure I'm going to be ready on time." It's like, well, I've done this every times. Like, you see this picture of this guy? Yeah, he looks really good. Yeah. He didn't look as good as you look now, 13 weeks out. And then, you have to give him that kind of like, well, look at this guy. It's obviously different if you're in person or whatever, but
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with it, I always tell people, is I always kind of use their previous history as a way to put it into context for them. And they go, "Oh, yeah, like last 5 years, I've just really let myself go." And I'm like, "Yep, it's going to take probably a bit more than 5 months then, isn't it?" And they're like, "Yeah, probably." And also, you have to just constantly remind them of how far they've come when they do start. And just stick to the same lines as well. Like, when I say that, what I mean is don't fold and like give into their wants and their needs because they'll expect it all the time. Then you have to stick to the party line, which might just be like, "Look, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time." And then when they have changed enough and you do have that picture, you can go, look at that change. But it's human nature. Like, that's normal. I think you have to you get better at that the more you do it. And maybe it's something that we do naturally without even realizing every day, every week.
Yeah. I mean, there's one. It's a big nutrition. I guess it's weird because obviously I deal with rehab, and it's and obviously people want to know when they're going to be better. And there's always my managing expectations is to say whether they will ever be better or whether I ever think they will return to where they would have were before. And I try to I will always err on the side of caution and be like, I don't know. We're gonna try the best we can, and always make it like we're gonna help and we're gonna do this together. Because if they feel like they're on their own to do something, it's very hard. But in terms of, I'm guessing managing expectations for not doing the hard work comes to rehab as well. Because I'll tell somebody maybe that like it is a thing that they need to do a morning routine or this kind of thing to stop something seizing up or etc. Them doing that 10-minute every day, very, 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 very hard. We both know that. We've both been in rehab situations that we would have slacked off and not done stuff just to keep it moving, right? But the lean, like, I don't know, the hard work for like losing weight. I don't know whether it's a bad thing, but I always go. I get John. Is it Berardi? His workout. Is that his name?
Yeah.
That's the cost of getting lean, right? His little infographic. He's the guy who wrote PN, right? Precision Nutrition.
Yeah.
So they've got a. You can Google this right now. The cost of getting lean by Precision Nutrition. It's pretty good as a thing to look through, and you can kind of. So it's just got like how to get abs. Basically, you're working yourself down. So it's like, all right, if you want to be less than 6%, or women less than 16%, this is what you need to do. You need to do more of this, and this is what you need to do less of. Are you willing to do these things? This is about managing expectations. And if they say no, all right, well, this body is probably unattainable for you. Therefore, we're going to scale it back one and be like, all right, so we could probably go from 6 to 9% body fat for a male. And be like, are you committed to doing this? No, all right, well, this is probably unobtainable at the moment unless we're willing to do this. So we're going to scale it back one more time. So, and then it goes all the way from like a 6% and below body fat and all the way up to, just greater than 20%. That's basically like, do you want to eat more processed foods? Do you want to eat lots of big portions? Do you want to eat really quickly and do less exercise, less whole foods, and sleep less? Then you're going to get this body. And obviously that class is unhealthy, but then healthy 15-20%. For example, it would say eat more slowly, have more satiety, include 1 to 2 like things of protein. More portions of protein each day, measure your vegetables out a little bit more, exercise 3 to 4 times a week, do less of, drink fewer caloric beverages, all that kind of stuff. So it's all about just obtaining a body. I quite like it. It's very simple. It's pretty easy to just read for somebody as well. Managing expectations. Cost of getting lean, mate. Sometimes costs too much.
No, it does for sure. Like some people, like me and Mike said that today. We're supposed to be dieting for the shoot, and we both just like can't be bothered. Like, got no desire to do it. Like, it's just not when it's not there. It's just not there. Like, you don't. Again, there's no point in fighting it as well for some people. Like, but then at the same time, we're also at a pretty decent body fat level where we're actually both pretty happy with how we look, and that's also part of it, right? So. Yeah. It is hard though. Managing expectations is what I do every single week. I think
as coaches, that is one of our hardest things to do. I think
that's what you do every. I think that's coaching. Day. I think that is coaching. And you have to show people where they've improved. You have to show people where they've done well. You have to reassure people sometimes when there isn't any change that what they're doing is going
to happen at some point.
Yeah, it's going to get them, change in the future because they're doing all these other things, and then all that sort of stuff. It's just part and parcel. And I think that's where having experience as a coach is vital, and having either been there yourself where the person wants to be, or having loads of your other clients who've been there before, it helps because you can see the patterns evolve and you go, look, like you can use examples to go, this person who was here, they had the same problem, they had the same thing they're worried about. And I think always looking back to those start pictures is really, really useful.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
And if they're saying they want the result but they don't want to work hard, then you just be like, well, you're never going to get that result. Just like choose another result then. Like, this is your other result. You're going to maintain this body weight, like, or have a broken limb forever. You will never, and make it in context that might actually hurt them. Be like, all right, Dan, you've broken your leg. You'll never rehab this. You'll never like run about with Isabel. You'll be like, shit, I need to do that, and really like tap home to it. Be pretty shocking, but maybe shocking's good.
Yeah,
it's usually a case. Right, is it you? Yes.
This isn't a serious question though.
Oh, I think we're on to the stupid questions then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can take it as you will, but this question, guess who it's from? Why hasn't Mike been asked on? This is a very serious podcast.
It's from Mike's mum.
Yeah, it's Mike's mum, yeah. She's devastated.
I do think Mike has been asked on.
Yeah, we tried to get one around Christmas time, didn't we?
As if he really listens to this anyway. But we did ask him on for Christmas pulley episodes. One of our most listened, like that one, and our like predictions for the year. Our 2 normal like most listened to shows of the year, right? And Josh was there.
Yeah, we couldn't get the date right, could we?
But Mike was like, "Oh, I got to go back up north."
I know. The real reason is I can't be asked getting more shit off him on a podcast than I get him doing it anyway. So it's not happening. Unfortunately,
I'm sure it will happen at some point.
It'll happen the day that Tom gets on the YouTube channel, probably.
I'll be there at some point. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll go into London and film for a day with Tom
I'm
on YouTube, and then we'll also do a podcast.
I'll turn up at your training day.
Oh gosh, yeah. School everyone.
I'm just gonna sit at the back, just in disguise.
Yeah.
Come under a different name, be like,
mate, you won't know what half
that's
the
wrong.
you won't know what half the machines do.
What? I think that moment arm's wrong, Dad. What? That's not how the strength curve works. There'll be such nerdy little call outs. Be great. Yeah, start a petition. We want Tom there. Good. I don't want to go away to Bath. Miles away.
Too far from you, innit?
Too far for me. Yeah, we got stupid questions. Well, this one's a stupid one because it's one of my. I know he's not going to listen, but I'll tell him not to answer the show. If I consistently squat at the same weight but eat so much pie that I gain 20 kilos, do I get stronger? Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes, because you're consistently squatting at the same weight, but you've gained 20 kilos of pie weight, therefore you are plus 20 kilos, and you're still lifting the same weight as you were. Therefore, net mass is higher for your load. Okay? Thank you, Tom. If anyone wants to go troll him, Tom Taylor 1900 is his thing. I'm sure he's probably private. He's pretty weird. Yeah, please do that. All right. You got any other stupid ones, mate?
No, mate.
No.
I've got a serious one. Did them in the wrong order, really, didn't we?
Yeah, we did do that. I've got one other stupid one. It's from my sister. Wheatos or Cheerios? What? She knows we talk about cereal quite a lot.
There's only
one winner there, and she knows this. It's going to be Wheatos.
It's got to be Wheatos.
Wheatos are 1,000 times better than Cheerios.
Yeah.
If there was chocolate Cheerios, that'd be fine.
Even honey Cheerios are good.
Honey
but
Cheerios,
they're not
as good.
They're not Wheatos,
chocolate,
are they?
So I think why hasn't there been chocolate Cheerios? They're just little Wheatos, really, aren't they?
I think they just thought to themselves, "What's the point? Wheatos have got this sewn up."
Yeah.
I'd say.
Unless they're owned by the same brand, and they just
could be.
They possibly are. No, really, don't know. If you know, all right. You got one more question? We've rattled over the 40-minute mark, so.
Yeah, Jamie Ring. Where's it?
The one shout out, brilliant.
Oh yeah, well, no, it's because he asked the other one before, and I was just like, right, let me bring it up. It was about something about HIIT classes or something. I don't know. It was how to gently maneuver clients away from HIIT classes and onto the gym floor.
Just with a leash.
Yes, I'd say stand up with them. I think, again, highlighting the positives of when they do their sessions with you with it involved on the gym floor, I suppose. But also, there's nothing particularly like if they need to lose weight and they're doing cardio and they want to do a HIIT class, and they enjoy it,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
I think, as long as they don't hurt themselves. I'd also sort of suggest to them, look, increased risk of injury. The fact that there's no massive, I suppose, eccentric loading, and potentially how that could affect their muscle growth or tone or whoever it is. If you're the demographic, you would talk about it the right way, potentially. But at the same time, if it's a calorie burner, do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of if that's the only thing they're doing. We've been through this before. If that's the only thing they're doing, then you might start to be like, all right, well, to achieve the body you want to achieve, it's all about the expectations thing again. We probably need to do less of this and more of this, but we can still definitely do this. So it's kind of, you're still going to do your HIIT class if you're doing 2 a week, blah, 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 but we're going to train maybe once a week or once a fortnight. You're going to do a weight session instead and just learn how to lift some of this stuff properly. To get that toning effect, exactly what Dan said, or muscular build. Depending on demographic. Jesus Christ.
That's the one, mate.
Absolutely stumbling. But yeah, I feel like we've covered that topic before, and it's obviously a fairly big one with the popularization of HIIT classes, and there's boutique studios that open up everywhere. But yeah, if it's a calorie burner and it's a social thing, then I 100% think it's great, and it's getting people moving, and doing more healthy stuff essentially. And then there'll be more. Possibly, they might be more interested in lifting weights after those classes, because then they'll be like, oh, I quite like doing that, or I can't do a pull-up and it is required in one of these classes, or I want to move up those weights and now I can't do it. Then suddenly it's like, all right, well, I can help you with that. If we start doing those weight sessions, we're going to get better at those classes, which they definitely are. So yeah, it's about that expectation as well, making sure you can be like, all right, you're going to get even better and better than your friends if you do this as well. Easy. Yeah, positives, right? Nice, mate. I think we've got time for any of the other topics. We'll put them to next week.
Yeah, I say so.
It gives us content and we don't have to think about anything next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. All right. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's rated our show, to be honest. 111 ratings.
Mad at it.
And I believe 109 of them are 5-star. One of them is 4-star, and one of them is 1-star. We've obviously pissed somebody off at some point.
The 4-star one annoys you more, though.
I know the 4-star annoys me more, because it's just like, well, you almost did it, but you're like, no, not quite great. The 1-star is clearly like, we're not scared to speak our mind, and we will probably piss some people off, and they've just gone, nah. Or it's probably like a rival show, I'm sure. So yeah. It's Steve Hall. Steve Hall. Yeah, Jesus Christ, Steve.
It'd be someone who can't take a fucking joke. There's plenty of out
100%. It'll be one of those people. So it'll be fine. It'll be AJ Morris. Definitely all over. No, he's fine. Shredded by Science. No, I don't think they'll do it. We could go for it.
You're just going across all the podcasts.
It's like that. You also might like that bit. Is always funny for me. There's a couple on there which I wish they weren't there, but you can message me about that. But there's a few interesting ones. Bodybuilder.com have their own podcast.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, they shared one of ours previously, which I thank them for. Yeah. But you know who I saw the other day? I didn't get a chance to catch up with him. Mr. Fittest Man on Earth was in my gym.
No, it wasn't really.
He was, yeah. He was training a client, and then I was also lecturing at the time, so I couldn't really like shuffle over. I was like, oh, do I? I'll leave him be. I haven't messaged him actually. I should have told him. Obviously, I don't normally work out the Soho branch, but I was in there far too much over the last week, so teaching. It's good, mate. But yeah, wonderful. But thank you if you've rated. What's that?
You'd say he was training a client?
I think so, yeah. We have some special things with Ross, he can come in every now and again. So based off men's health stuff. So the men's health guys and women's health use our gyms, right? And obviously Ross's big affiliation with them. And yeah, I think the editor of Men's Health is also the third space editor of the journals. So I write for him.
Must be doing something for like the magazine or something, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But
cool.
Whenever there's a controversial topic, I usually get something from a guy called Ted. He's just like, Tom, you want to piss somebody off? Yep, sure, I'll write that. Why we should only be like, he will ask me like the stupidest ones, and it would just be. I felt like Dan. He was like, why would you only advocate? It was like machine weights. And I was like, yeah, I'll write that. It's fine. It goes against that whole ethos of training movements, moving well. But yeah, I can write that. It's fine. It's very interesting. It's good. All right, mate. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Dan. Well done. Thanks,
mate. Well, it's kind of like my thing, isn't it? I know you're trying to kick me out.
I know you're snotty, but yeah, he managed to get out of bed for this little show. All right, guys. Nothing more from you?
Nothing.
All right, perfect. We will catch you next week.
See you later, guys.